Hello there, once again, it's Anton from Anton Obey, and I did something I don't do very often, ever. I don't know if I've ever just done that. I ordered one comic book, and I almost never order just one. I usually get like lots and stuff like that. But the book I ordered was this. Now, if you're better than me, you probably realize that I've owned this book before. And in my vast collection of everything that I had, this was one of I saved. However, I sold it. And I didn't realize at the time of its significance. And when I learned its significance, it was something that I did seek to reacquire while it's cheap, in case it ever goes up. This is the first appearance of Illyana Rasputin as Magik. This is just what I didn't know that. So I was like, oh shoot, that was one I kind of didn't want to sell anyway, my Storm and Illyana Magik 4-issue limited series. And I look, and the series is kind of bringing more than I wanted, and certainly more than I sold mine for. But I was like, you know what, there's some pretty cheap individual issues, and some of they were kind of all over the board. Some of them were up to like $50 for this, and this one was $2.50. So I'm not going to complain about that. It's not in bad shape. Pull it out so you can take a look at it. It's not in bad shape. Not bad coloring, little bitty nick here. You know that I don't care about condition. But I felt, oh man, as one of my more favorite X-Men characters, it was one that I just felt like I was like, oh shoot, I shouldn't have sold that. I went through all 10 boxes in my closet to see if I still had it, and I was like, I don't. Better just snag it before it gets harder to get, because it's only just going to get harder to get. So I bought it on the cheap, and I'm just going to keep it. So it's Illyana. She's young. She's living in Russia. This is Peter Rasputin's little sister. And this whole mini-series is basically about her mutant abilities and how it translates to what her power set is. So her ability is to disappear into this weird dimension. However, the dimension is ruled by this terrible demonic presence that has tormented her as much as it's been her hiding place. It's a scary hiding place that she goes to stay safe or whatever. But this is a rough hell dimension that she's in. And in this last issue, she finally basically conquers the leader that's there and takes over the hell dimension for herself. And if you've read much of her stuff, or if you're familiar with her, Sim is one of the chief demons, one of the chief lackeys of the big demon. This guy right here, Belasco. And she does whip him into submission, and he does work for her for a long time until she finally has to oust him as well. But by defeating him and taking over the realm, she also becomes more imbued with his demonic energy. This is why Magik is the way that Magik is. That's why she's a dark, sinister character. And I just thought that was really cool, and that's why I was like, shoot, I need to get that issue back. So I did. So it was $2 to buy it, maybe $3 to ship it, $2.50, something like that. More than I would normally spend on a comic randomly like that, but for one of my characters that I care about, this was it. And then just this whole cover, the weird satanic jailbait issue cover, it's just one of those whoa covers that you get. A couple other books I want to look at, just because I got your attention. I see these every now and then, and for some reason, as I go through my collection, turns out I have a bunch of them, like quite a few issues of this. X-Mutants #1. Now, I've talked about X-Mutants and how I prefer the Eternity version of X-Mutants. This is the Malibu version, and one of the first. It's the much more polished, cleaned up, mass marketable version of the X-Mutants, and the second team, because the entire first team was killed. Now, when I say much more marketable, it's still rough. This is a Malibu title. There's no Comic Code Authority labels on any of their stuff. So, I mean, it is going to be rougher than some, but still more marketable than others. And if you've ever played the old video game for Sega Genesis, it is interesting. I like it. I liked it very much back in the day. And at this time, I had no idea that they made comic books. But the video game, these comics, all of that, it's all based on the second team, not the first team. The first team, as I said before, it was all killed. They all died. And the whole premise of the entire book and everything like that is that everybody on the world is a mutant, and they're horribly radiated and changed, and they turn them into humans. So they are the only humans on the planet. And you get, humans. Anyway, X-Mutants. If you haven't heard of it, the Malibu is a good place to start for the titles. There's also, like I said, there's a whole bunch from Eternity that are also pretty banging if you want to check them out. I personally prefer the Eternity ones better. They're darker, they're not as comical, they're not as colorful, they're all in black and white. Next up, I have a book called Port-au-Prince of the Glamazons. This is an Eclipse Comics. Don't know the exact date here. 1986. This is a series I've only got one issue of, but I'm curious, and it's something that if I see at a price that's good, I would snag the rest. They're not a high demand book or anything like that. They're just pretty odd. So it is something that I'm looking for, and I hadn't Holocaust in a handbasket. As you could tell, this is very busy artwork. Very busy everything in these. And just something that I thought looked really curious, and something that I want to give a read to. I haven't yet. It's hard to want to tie into comics when you've just got one issue, maybe, and there's 6 to be had, and you don't ever know, should I read that and then I gotta wait to get the others, or I kind of prefer to just have them all and then read them. Some people have the patience to read one issue and then just leave it and find out what happens later. I do not always have that. I am enjoying the art style in this. I think it looks good. I don't know how I feel about these weird Mickey Mouse ears. That's a little on the odd side. Yeah, I'm gonna say this art looks really good though. Port-au-Prince. Yeah. Secret Origin of the Glamazons. Wow, that is a heavy read. Look at all that. Look at all them words. That's lots of reading to do. Who wants to do all that? Anyway, that's another book that I came across in my stuff, and I'm like, I want to give that another look. Next up, and lastly, I'm going to be looking at Laser Eraser, and I'm more familiar with this issue. I didn't remember this issue. As you can imagine, a lot of my stuff gets really mixed up when you sell everything out of a box except for a few issues, and then you put it all, compact it back, and you file it back together. You end up with a lot of, half of a series in here, 2 issues in this box, 2 issues in another box. It comes with a mess. That is a heck of an opening page, by the way. So, it's one of those weird future space sci-fi type books. Kind of reminds me of Nexus in a lot of the ways. The art style, the strange aliens, the quirkiness, the quirky characters. I mean, you gotta love those pyramids. Always gotta love pyramids. I got a thing for pyramids. I like it. And this art just looks pretty good. Pretty satisfied with it. Real comparable to the other Laser Eraser issue. I don't know, some of the stuff Eclipse was doing at this time was just fantastic. You can't really fault it. It was just good stuff. Very good looking books. And cheap. I mean, these are going to be cheap to find. If you find them in a bin somewhere, they're going to be almost nothing. All right, so this last one, I believe, let's see here. I have read before and was impressed enough to kind of put it on my list of comics to find, but I think this one's more of like a murder mystery. He's a detective trying to solve things in a house made out of flesh, which is a common thing you'll see in a lot of comics, but this one is just so, it's disgusting and weird, and his feet and his robot body are weird and interesting. It's one of those just bizarre. And then he starts hacking his way through. Ugh, yeah, it's just nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Yep, they're in this big, weird, like, ugh, disgusting. But you can't turn away either. As for Seduction of the Innocent, that's cool. Yep, art, story, setup, galaxy, everything is pretty cool looking. I dig that. Hack, chop, slash, and back issues that you can order, of course. So anyway, that's my little lot of comics for you there. New acquisition and some lost stuff that I found. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed flipping through some old comics with me. That's my story. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.